I welcome that. In fact, what they said on the secondary level students is that there were sometimes sort of hand-picked people selected by teachers to talk to inspectors, but that there wasn't engagement with just the mass of students, if you like, and there should be a bit more on-the-ground engagement. The other thing that they raised was, in a lot of schools, just the facilities issue. And, I mean, obviously it varies widely, but, you know, from things like heating systems that were inadequate to toilets that were completely, if you like, inappropriate, didn't allow for privacy, and issues like that. But the thing about the curriculum really struck me, Taoiseach, and I take your point about things becoming more interactive with technology and so on, but I think it is a fact that and it varies again, obviously wealthier schools with more resources, like when I asked about theatre trips, you know, one student says, yeah, we've been to 3 theatre trips, and then this other one said, Jesus, there's no way our school could possibly afford that. We'd have to hire a bus, it would cost a fortune, and there's absolutely no way we could do it, or a lot of money would have to be raised, which would be punitive. But they were all very strongly of the view that they would be able to engage far better with their education if there was more of that kind of thing. Interactive field trips that made real the stuff in the books. And I just think we should listen when school students, because they were passionate about education, but they just felt the current system wasn't fit for purpose. And I think we need to listen to the school students about what they think is necessary to make it work for them.
I want to thank deputies again for their questions and contributions. I think we can all agree with Deputy Boyd Barrett that the quality of school buildings varies hugely. I have the privilege from time to time to open new schools, really impressed by the quality of building and quality of facilities, but that then reminds me how much we need to do to bring the older ones up to standard, and some of our schools are very old indeed. The budget for school building is now over £1 billion a year. It's increased dramatically, but it is clear that we're going to need to increase it some more. Given rising building costs in particular. And I know Minister Donoghue and Minister Foley are working on that at the moment. And certainly I'd agree with Deputy Boyd Barrett on the benefits of additional field trips being taken by students. Deputy Sullivan mentioned a number of school projects in Cork and specifically brought our attention to ASD provision and the need to do more of that, and I firmly agree. Both Deputy Moynihan and Deputy Sullivan mentioned the new special schools in Glenmire and Carrigaline. There's a new one in my own constituency as well, are relatively new at Danu School. It is still very much the government's preference for mainstreaming, but special schools are needed in certain circumstances, and of course home tuition is an option too in other circumstances. But I absolutely agree that we need to prioritise the whole issue of special needs, and having a dedicated minister with a dedicated budget I think was a good innovation on behalf of this government, and one that I hope will continue into the next one. Deputy Dillon raised the issue of special education teacher allocations. I'm advised the schools were advised of their allocations on the 6th of February. There will be 14,600 special education teachers this year, or rather in the forthcoming school year, and that's an increase of 1,000 on 2021, and is the highest number ever in terms of SET teachers. The allocation model has been in place since 2017. I'm told that a limited change was made to the method, and that was following consultation with unions, management bodies and schools to hear their views on the strengths and shortcomings of the allocation model. It distributes the total available number of posts in line with the school's profile, and of all the schools across the country, 67% have seen their allocation increase or have retained their previous allocation. And of those who've seen a decrease, that decrease in almost all cases is 5 hours or less, but I appreciate nobody's going to welcome or want a decrease for their school or for the kids attending. Deputy Barry raised the industrial relations dispute in relation to tutors. This is an industrial relations dispute. I'm sure it'll be resolved. They always are. If not by negotiation, then there's always the option of a referral to the WRC or the Labour Court, where all arguments can be heard and the Labour Court can make a recommendation. Deputy Durkan raised the issue of school places in County Kildare, which is an area that has seen a huge increase in population in recent years. I'm advised that in County Kildare there are 3,500 junior infant pupils and 4,000 first-year students enrol every year. Enrolment pressures can be driven in some cases by duplication of applications, applications from outside the area, and parental or student choice. In the majority of areas, including across most of Kildare, there are sufficient places available to meet the needs of children in the area. And the government has invested more than £250 million in new school infrastructure in Kildare since 2024. While some applicants may not have received an offer of a school place yet for 24-25, families can be assured that all children in an area who require a school place will be provided with one, and the Government and Minister Foley are happy to give that assurance to the Deputy that will be the case. And we're working with schools and patrons to ensure that there are sufficient places available and that everyone has a place for September next year.